Hello, everybody, and welcome into today's episode of Around the Slice. I wanted to jump on today to give you guys a big mid-season check-in episode for the Bills in regards to 2025 NFL free agency. There's a lot of moving parts here, very exciting news, players added, players leaving the Bills, players released, signed, what have you. So without further ado, without any more intro, let's just jump right in. So I want to put a timestamp here because, as you know, it's important to provide you guys with the date specifically because, as you know, NFL free agency moves fast. And with the official league year starting later today, 4 p.m. Eastern, officially, things will move even faster and multiple players will be cut that the Bills, I'm sure, will be interested in. So right now, as of the time of this recording, it is Wednesday, March 12th, around 11:30 a.m. So anything I'm talking about here, anything you see past this point when you see this, I do not know about. These are all the updates I have as of, once again, March 12th, Wednesday, March 12th at 11:30 a.m. at the time of this recording specifically. So, yeah, just to give you some updates about the Bills signings and what have you, I'm going to go in order of positional order, so QB all the way down to safety. At QB, we didn't do anything. I wasn't expecting anything. I was expecting the Brandon Beane, the Buffalo Bills, Brandon Beane specifically because he makes the final decisions, obviously, to cut Mitch Trubisky last week and save the $2.5 million, but I guess not. I guess they're going to keep him around for the summer, training camp, and preseason up until cutdown day, most likely to compete with Mike White and quote unquote compete with Mike White for the QB2 job behind Josh Allen. I've said multiple times on this show before on Around the Slice podcast here today recently that I don't think highly at all of Mike White or Mr. Trubisky as a fill-in QB2. So I would be looking to add a cheap low-cost veteran better than those two combined, but that's just my opinion. First significant move, if you will, here, running back. There's a lot of moving parts here. First, I want to get to a small scale on the Bills signed running back Darrington Evans. We don't have any numbers. I'm sure it's nothing more than a vet minimum, 1.5. I doubt it'll push 2 million. One year, 1.5 is what I assume. He is 27 years old and he's little guy. So 5'10", 203, 5'10", 203 pounds, whatever. I don't view this as more than a camp body. If you recall, or if you don't know, let me fill you in quick. Darrington Evans was a camp body and a preseason body for the Buffalo Bills the last two preseasons. And last year, when they held out James Cook and Ty Johnson and Ray Davis towards the end in preseason, Frank Gore Jr., but more specifically, Darrington Evans actually had a pretty nice preseason before he went on IR for the whole year, and then the Bills released him in the middle of the year, I think around November. So he's back. Again, I expect nothing more than camp body here. But again, if he can compete with Frank Gore Jr. as for a practice squad spot, then he'll be more than just a camp body. But in my opinion, just a camp body. This is a big one. I'm really, really impressed and kind of confused, if you will, how they would be able to get this guy back for this dirt cheap. But Bills re-signed running back Ty Johnson. As you know, we're very acquainted with him. He is 27 years old, and it is officially you're going to my jaw was on the floor. Mine was blown when I saw this contract number officially. 2 years, $5 million. That's 2.5 per year. That is an astonishing number in a very, very good way, in my opinion. I don't know how we got him that for dirt cheap. That's darn near the vet minimum. Like, vet minimum is like 1.5, 2.5. I don't understand. I was expecting a running back needy team like the Cowboys or the Bengals to throw a quote-unquote bag in terms of Ty Johnson standards at Ty Johnson, like 3 years, 15 and 5 per. I was pretty fearful and almost expecting, honestly, that Ty Johnson would leave, as he should have, but he had his right to, but get overpaid. So I'm just blown away. This is phenomenal. Like, he provides everything. I've said before, Ty Johnson will never blow you away with his athleticism. He's a jack of all trades, though, if you will. He can line up an inline tight end as a very superb blocker, very superb pass blocker, very superb runner and blocker on those tush pushes and outside zone schemes, if you will. He can receive the ball in the backfield, kick returner and punt returner in a pinch if you need him to. Inside the tackles runner, outside the tackles runner, gap scheme, zone scheme. between the tackle stumper on the goal line, if you will. He provides literally everything. So just again, I still can't get over this. I'll keep saying it. 2 years, $5 million, 2.5 per year. That's unreal for a special team staple and a guy that carved out a really nice niche role for this team last year. And I'm sure he'll be back with James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson, and then 2 camp bodies, if you will, competing for practice squad spots in Darrington Evans and Frank Gore Jr. And then, so Ty Johnson's size, we're very familiar, but let me get you reacquainted if you forgot. 5'10", 210. He's got real thumper, good size to him. I'm giving this, by the way, with all these signings, I'm not going to grade the Darrington Evans one because, like, 1, I don't have numbers, so I can't really grade it. And 2, it's just I can't body, maybe compete with Frank Gore Jr. for a practice squad spot next year in 2025. But my grade for the Ty Johnson deal is A+. The price point of 2 years, $5 million, again, 2.5 per. I know I keep gushing about that, but holy crap. Like, that's dirt cheap. I still can't get over it. So A+. I don't care that we're running back the same exact running back room as last year. Like, it worked to a T. As the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So it ain't broken, we ain't fixing it. So it's awesome. A+ for that. Bill, this is another fan favorite of mine, and everybody's really, but mine especially. Bills re-signed fullback Reggie Gilliam. The Sledge, Reg the Sledge, is freaking back. I'm so pumped. I know that I might be overreacting a little. Aiden, it's just a fullback. Are you kidding? Sledge is the special teams glue of this team. They call him a bowling ball for a reason. I go back to 2023 season, right out the gate, the Jets were they kind of slumping and struggling 2 years ago. Boom, he forces a fumble on the opening kickoff. Bills go down and score a touchdown. I was actually watching that with a lot of family members at my grandparents' house, so that's why it's such a great memory for me, family and football-wise. But yeah, it's awesome. For the actual, sorry, my notes kind of went in the fritz there. On my phone, for the actual numbers for Sledge, 1 year, $2 million. It's just a fullback. I know people might say, hey, Kyle Juszczyk was signed, a couple of days ago, Kyle Juszczyk was really shockingly, I would say, surprisingly released by the San Francisco 49ers, the 49ers there in San Francisco. So why didn't we just sign him and let Sledge walk? The heck no to that. Sledge is a glue guy. I love Sledge. He's awesome. Excuse me, I had something in my throat. But Sledge is awesome. So, yeah. Still only 27 years old. Will be 28 in August. This is an incredible story. He went to Toledo. We love Maction. At least I do. Tuesday and Wednesday nights. Sitting there during the week watching Maction. But anyway. UDFA, undrafted free agent out of Toledo. And if you call and remember correctly, whatever, what have you, he beat out Pat DeMarco as UDFA in 2020, his rookie year. And then he stuck around for 6 years. Or 5 years going into his 6th year. So believe it or not, 2025 will be his 6th year in the league, all with the Buffalo Bills. He sets the tone. He's an elite blocker on those tush pushes. He's a huge integral part. It really ratcheted up and ramped up, if you will, the snap percentages for him on those tush pushes at the end of last season and the 2024 season, respectively, specifically, I should say. So this is awesome. He's 6 foot, 244, so he brings the juice in that category. Grade, I'm giving this an A+, 1 year, $2 million. I know it's just a fullback. Sledge is a glue guy. If he ever leaves to go somewhere else, and we have a new fullback like Kyle Juszczyk or otherwise, I will vomit and then I'll probably riot. So, yeah, Sledge is unreal in my opinion, guys. Whoops, sorry. That was my... I don't know why that came up. Anyway. Now we're going to shift over to the wide receiver position. We have our first lone free agent departure, and this one kind of saddens me because this guy brought a lot of energy, as you know, with the crazy costumes, the no shoes crap, funny crap in the offseason, and more specifically training camp, doesn't use utensils to eat. Patriots signed wide receiver Mac Hollins. He's joined the enemy, so now, Mac, you're dead to me. No, I'm kidding, but let me break it down quick. 2 years, $8.4 million. That's $4.2 million a year. I was only willing to go up to 2 to 3, maybe $3.5 million, and take it year by year with Mac Hollins. I think there's so many reasons why he left the Bills. One, I think he wanted a bigger payday than $3.5 million per year, and the Bills couldn't give him that. Two, I think he wanted 2 or 3 years, not one. 3 years would have been ridiculous, but I think he wanted 2 years, not just one, and a year-by-year thing. That's why he left. And then 3, most importantly, I think he wanted a bigger role in an offense, and the Bills were not going to give him that. If he's your wide receiver 4, you have a really good, nicely rounded wide receiver room. But he obviously wanted to be a top 3 option on a team, and the Bills weren't going to give him that. Guys, when I say top 3 option on a team, he's literally the option, lone option at wide receiver, or tight end really, but more specifically at wide receiver on the Patriots. He's literally their wide receiver 1 right now. Now, yes, will they probably draft Ted McMillan if it were up to me at number 4 overall? Yes. But Matt Collins right now, better than whatever Kayshon Boutte is. He's better than Kayshon Boutte. Yes, that's his name, don't worry. He's better than Kayshon Boutte. He's better than Kendrick Bourne. He's better than Pop Douglas. He's better than Javon Baker. He's better than Jalen Polk. It's just a ton of misfits over there besides Matt Collins. So he's literally their wide receiver 1 right now. And if Matt Collins is the top 3 option for you, you have a really bad receiver room. He was the wide receiver 4 in Buffalo, and that was awesome. But, yeah, I mean, you're dead to me now, Matt Collins. Kidding, but not kidding. So, it's whatever. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, but I would have loved to see him back for his energy. He's an elite run blocker. A lot of those tush pushes, he was the integral piece of Sledge towards the end of the season, especially. So, I'll get over it. Bills sign wide receiver Josh Palmer. This is a sneaky, good, underrated speed guy. I'm going to lay this out quickly. I've been pounding the table for this type of receiver, specifically Josh Palmer. Now, as you'll see in a minute, the contract came in a bit higher than I wanted, but it's okay if we're getting a talent like Josh Palmer. The Bills needed a vertical speed. They needed a specific type of role this offseason to add some juice to their receiver room. They needed a specific mold of receiver, if you will. And that is the Buffalo Bills needed a true X receiver on the outside who could get open versus man coverage and was a true, quote-unquote, man beater, if you will, and separate downfield and get open downfield with ease. And that is Josh Palmer, bringing him in on a 3-year, $36 million deal, $12 million a year. Now, that's got it kind of eye-popping, but after, for some reason that I have no idea, clue how this happened, but after the Rams re-signed Tutu Atwell to a one-year, $10 million deal last week, and then the Jaguars brought in, what the heck's his name? De'Ami Brown from the Commanders on 1 year, $10 million. If those guys get $10 million, Josh Palmer, that was going to push his price up. So 3 years, 36, $12 million per. He fits that role. I was just talking about that true downfield separator and can true man beater and get open versus man coverage with ease. But don't get your facts fooled here. That makes sense. Don't get fooled here, guys. He ain't just no separator downfield. Like, he's a route technician. Watch his tape. Just watch some live game tape or all 22, whatever. He'll route your you-know-what up. So, I mean, he ain't just some downfield big play threat waiting to happen. Like, he's a route technician, all levels of the field. And people are going to say, well, Aiden, he never had really any production in Los Angeles with the Chargers. How does this warrant this contract? Yes. If you say, hey, Aiden, and all that, I'll agree with you about the production piece to warrant this contract, but I'll push back that let's give some context to this scenario that, one, he was stuck behind Keenan Allen and Mike Williams in 3 out of 4 seasons, and two, let's not forget that if you didn't know, he had 3 different offensive coordinators in 4 years with the Chargers. That's rough. 3 different OCs in 4 years. And then 3, the point that most importantly, the Chargers are with Jim Harbaugh, especially this past year, Greg Roman as offensive coordinator, as OC there. They're a very zone-heavy team. They're a very run-oriented offense, as you know. Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman especially like to pound the football and play defense and throw here and there. Not much explosive plays going on with Justin Herbert, even though he has oozes talent. So I love this. Josh Palmer, 25 years old. For size, he's 6'1", 210, so he fits the mold of that true X receiver. But again, don't get fooled, guys. He ain't just no true vertical X. He can play in the slot. is a big power slot, if you will. Not much, but you can do it from time to time and use mismatches here and there with your different personnel groupings. I'm gonna give this for a grade of a B plus. I'm gonna knock it down tick from the A range, if you will. If that makes sense. I'm gonna knock it down a bit, if you will, from the A to A plus or A minus, the A range at all, just because I think they could have gone for a better name. Now, this does not preclude the Bills from having a developmental receiver in like with two of their. I think someone like Jaden Higgins would fit perfectly, or Alec Aomanor would fit perfectly. But Josh Palmer is the more veteran version, much more veteran version of those two. Obviously, he's still only 25 years old though, guys. So I don't think we need to take a receiver in the first round anymore. Now, if Matthew Golden somehow, by some whim of God, that he's there at 30, you take him. I just don't think we need to desperately trade up for him anymore, like I literally thought just a few days ago. So I'm going to give this a B plus just because maybe they could have gone for a bigger name. So that's holding it back from the A range. And yeah, maybe I thought the contract came in a bit more than I thought at 3 years, 36, 12 per year specifically. But you can thank Tutu Atwell and De'Ami Brown for pushing that price, driving that price up. Next, continuing on in positional order, Bills sent defensive lineman Michael Hoyt. You might go, hey, who's that? Never heard of him. He's a former Ram. Unfortunately, though, he fell out of rotation there over the last couple of years with guys like their stacked young defense line with Jared Verse, Braden Fisk, Kobe Turner. Bobby Brown was a nice piece of true run stuffer nose tackle. Byron Young. I mean, they're like a NASCAR package over there. So we're giving Michael Hoyt a 3-year, $20 million deal, 7 per year. I love that it's not double digits, and I think this is a hidden diamond in the rough and a hidden gem, if you will, because this guy, I said defensive lineman because he can play. He lines up literally all over the place on the defense. He can line up at defensive end. He can hand in the dirt. He can line up at defensive tackle at 3 tech. He can line up at linebacker from time to time. He can line up in the slot as a power slot defender. I mean, this guy's unreal. Guys of his stature should not move as fluidly as he does. He's 6'4", 267. His playing weight was as high as 311, but I think last year it was more around 270, 280. He's officially listed at 6'4", 267 once again. And the linebacker piece, there's clips out there over the last couple of years or so. He's covered DK Metcalf very well in his career. Go look up the film clips. What guy at that size is covering an absolute titan of a human being like DK Metcalf? I just don't understand. What D lineman is dropping back in coverage like that, period, guys, in that opinion, in that scenario. So that's unreal. He's still only 27 years old. I'm giving this grade a B plus. It's just like the Josh Palmer thing. Yeah, maybe they could have taken a bigger swing, but this guy's versatility is unmatched, in my opinion. And this could be a really hidden gem, not just for the Bills specifically, but for free agency as a whole. Next, I got some really negative mixed feelings, unfortunately, about this one. Bills signed defensive end Joey Bosa. We all know Joey Bosa. His big thing is injuries. This is a very, very, I mean in all caps, very risky boom or bust player. If he's healthy, boom. If he's not healthy, like his checkered past in terms of injuries, then there's your bust. 1 year, $12.6 million. I don't like that price tag to begin with. $12 million guaranteed. Don't like that. And then these incentives, the max value of the deal is $15.6 million. That's ridiculous. I thought Joey Bosa was, if you wanted to do double digits on the low end, fine. But I thought 1 year, $8 to $10 million would be more appropriate for him after he was cut by the Chargers, released by the Chargers the other day. So he's got to prove it. Like, this is not just a prove it deal. This is a more significant investment than just a prove it deal. Again, 1 year, $12.6 million, $12 million of it fully guaranteed. So pretty much the whole contract is guaranteed. And with incentives, max value of 15.6. I hope to God, for our sake, that those incentives don't hit. Never rooting against any Buffalo Bill ever, but I do not like this. I'm not going to say I don't like this one bit, but like, I've talked to family and friends. They're like, Aiden, this is great. Boom or bust. Okay, but have you seen his injuries over the last literally years? To prove my point, to back up my point, I don't want to belabor about this forever here, minutes on end here, if you will, but Joey Bosa has only played 28 out of a possible 51 games over the last 3 years, and he's missed a total in his 9-year career of 42 games. That is an extremely checkered past in terms of injuries. I just don't like this as much. So I know this is an unpopular opinion, and I know this is an unpopular take, but I'm personally fine with me being the unpopular take. He's 29 years old, by the way, will be 30 in July. Old and injured just doesn't mix well at all. Look at Von Miller. Well, Von Miller and Joey Bosa have had the same injury history. Yes, Joey Bosa has had three torn ACLs significantly in his career like Von Miller has, but he's had many more like injuries here and there. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler, so I guess if you can recapture that, fine. For a grade, I'm going to give this a C-. And again, I'm realizing that I might be on an island here. Aiden, we're going to run in the negative train at thoughts on Joey Bosa. I'm sorry, I'm okay with being negative about it, but it is what it is. You guys can push back, and that's fine, but this is just my opinion on my podcast, so I'm going to share my opinion with you guys. Obviously, I'm always going to be truthful with you guys, as I pride myself in, and I just don't like this. C-. I don't understand. I'm leading the bust route more than the boom route. I don't get it. I don't like this. Like, how is this any different than any other rotational piece that we could have brought in who was cut? I don't get it. Bills signed, this just came in this morning a few hours ago when I woke up. Bills signed defensive end Larry Ogunjobi, 1 year, $8.3 million, just released from the Steelers. $8 million of it guaranteed, so basically the whole contract is fully guaranteed. Max contract of $10 million, max value of $10 million. I think he's worth that double digits, unlike Joey Bosa, who I just negatively explained. Ogunjobi, 30 years old, will be 31 in June. He's 6'3", 305. Finally, we have some size in that defensive tackle room. Ed Oliver is only 6 foot, 290 pounds, so 290, if that. Dwayne Carter, I think he was borderline terrible as a rookie. He got displaced quite a bit. Daquan Jones is big, but he's slowing down as a one-tech. And then Jordan Phillips, Austin Johnson, Quentin Jefferson. I could give flying you-know-what about any three of those guys. I just don't care. I could care less about any three of them. So they're not coming back. I'm going to give this a really favorable grade of an A- just because Ogunjobi is very versatile. I don't mean versatile like lining up on the edges on interior, but for both interior spots, he's a penetration style rusher, so he can line up at 3-tech. Or most importantly, we needed a true nose tackle 1-tech. He can line up at 3-tech as a penetration style rusher. He can line up at 1-tech as a nose tackle. So yeah, him and Michael Hoyt, it's going to be fun to see where they line up. I doubt they'll be on any field together because you want true pass rush and not two really versatile guys on the field together. But we'll have to see. So yeah, 3 defensive line additions. Hoyt, Bosa. I was really negative on Bosa, but again, I'm okay with that, whatever. And Ogunjobi of an A-. The thing I kind of been mixed on, now, while I do, most important point here, I do still believe that the Bills need to find a starter opposite Rousseau. I still don't think we have a true game wrecker. I think Trey Hendricks needs to be traded, but Bengals are really driving up the asking price there. At 30, I still think we need to take a best defensive lineman available, because, yeah, Michael Hoyt's still young, but Bosa injured and old. Ogunjobi getting up there as well. Greg Rousseau's not a game wrecker, so we need to get some youth and cheaper contracts in here, specifically youth. So at 30th overall in the first round, yeah, take the best D-lineman available, whether it's interior, edge rusher, I don't care, just take them. Don't trade up, see which one falls to you. It's a loaded class. Only unless it's kind of Grant, then trade the hell up. But so back to my point, though, to belabor this home, I drive this point home, if you will. I do not believe, I still think we need a certified dude. I still think we need a starter, opposite edge rusher. Sorry to brain fart for a minute. Opposite edge rusher, Greg Rousseau is a starter because I don't view Epineza, Bosa, Hoyt, and Ogunjobi as much as I like. And Ogunjobi is not an edge rusher, so I don't view Bosa, Epineza, who's been out here forever, seems like now, or Michael Hoyt, even though I love his versatility, line up literally everywhere, as I explained with his profile specifically a few minutes ago. I don't think we have a starter. I do love, though, I commend Brandon Beane for building up a good, heavy rotation that Sean McDermott loves. I just think we need a true game record by Trey Hendrickson because we missed on Milton Williams. We missed on Josh Sweat. We missed on some of these other edge rushers like Khalil Mack. I think he's much better than Joey Bosa at this point of his career. I know he's a few years much older, but still. So yeah, that's just my opinion on the D-line. I really commend him, Brandon Beane, for building up a strong, good, heavy rotation on the edge with don't forget about Javon Solomon. So Javon Solomon, AJ Epineza, Michael Hoyt, Greg Rousseau's a certified starter, although I don't think he's a certified dude, but certified starter. So opposite him, the rotation of Michael Hoyt. Von Miller's not gone, so Michael Hoyt. AJ Epineza, Javon Solomon, Joey Bosa. I just think we need to upgrade as a legit starter. Then in the interior, I'm really loving the rotation of Ed Oliver, Dwayne Carter, Daquan Jones, and who were we just talking about? Michael Hoyt, if you want to line up there, but more traditionally, Larry Ogunjobi. So I like how this rotation's shaping up, if you will, but we need more in the starter department. Now, this just came in about a half hour or so before I jumped on the mic, if you will, to record. Bills have re-signed safety Damar Hamlin. When this news came through, the Bills announced it themselves, then Schefter, Rapport, and all the insiders glommed on, jumped on it, and they confirmed it. It's a one-year deal only, and I can't imagine. The numbers aren't in. So, again, as of 11:30 a.m., I have no freaking clue. Well, now it's 11:45. As of 11:45 a.m., I don't have any clue of the numbers, but I can't imagine it's more than what? 2, 3, maybe 4 million. So I guess 3 or 4 million now, cheap-ish veteran, one-year deal. He's still really young, but I'm shocked by this. Like, I thought he would for sure go to Steelers. I mentioned it before. Mike Towns was really known since he was a kid. Hamlin grew up in Pittsburgh. He went to Pitt to play with the Pitt Panthers. They shared a facility with the Steelers. So Mike Tomlin got a bunch of eyes on him over the years, if you will. Specifically. So I thought he would be for sure gone. I'm really shocked by this, but I love that he's back. And again, 1 year, 3-4 million. Who cares? I don't have official numbers, so don't yell at me in the comments. If by the time you're watching this, you 99.9% sure you will have the numbers, but I don't. So our safety room right now is Cole Bishop, Taylor Rapp, and Damar Hamlin. There's 2 avenues this could go, in my opinion, and it should be your opinion too. Well, I don't want to force anything on you, but it's pretty clear that this should be everyone's opinion. My opinion is 2 avenues and / paths this could go, if you will. Damar Hamlin could come back and have an open competition, but Taylor Rapp's a for sure starter at strong safety. Doesn't matter. He's locked in. Open competition, free safety between Cole Bishop, who I like him, but I'm not nearly as high on him as other people are going in second year in the league, going to year 2. Open competition at free safety next to Rep between Damar Hamlin, Cole Bishop, and a rookie. Whether it's a significant early investment, I just hope it's not first round, 30th overall, maybe second round, or a low end investment. That's a competition between Bishop, Hamlin, and probably a rookie at free safety. Or number 2, this is what I would like personally. Damar Hamlin comes back as key depth, and he comes back as a key special teams player, maybe a rotational player here and there, but more so a third safety. At 3-4 million, that's fine as a third safety. So I would assume, this is just my opinion, I would really prefer the starting safety duo to be Rapp and Cole Bishop, or a rookie, a competition there. And then you have Cam Lewis and Damar Hamlin is your third and fourth safety, respectively, and Cam Lewis is a versatile chess piece. We know him and we love him. So, Damar Hamlin, probably third safety. If Damar Hamlin is your third safety, that's a really nice, well-rounded safety room. For the third safety, he has a ton of starting experience. He started that whole year in 2022 for a neck injury, injured Micah Hyde. And then, the heart attack, cardiac arrest, that happened. Because of that, it would have made me really sad to see him go. That was 100% expecting him to go, so shocked that he's back. So again, I don't have numbers. He's still really young, so I love it. Best available, before I get out of here today, here are the best available free agents. I will say the pool has lessened greatly. The pool has very much been diminished, if you will. 3 top needs are, these are no order, but I'm just going to throw out defensive tackle, which there's no targets that are left. So you're going to, unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, for some youth and cheaper contracts, compared to Daquan Jones and stuff, what have you, you're going to have to look through the draft. So free agency, corner, and safety. These are no in particular order, but this is my number 1 guy. We better be locked in on this guy. I don't expect Rasul Douglas to be back whatsoever. He'll go back to the Packers or Cardinals, probably, who he's previously played with in his career. Corner, Asante Samuel Jr. You know how much I love this guy. Go back to the original 2 or 3 weeks ago or so, give or take a few weeks ago, around there and what have you. go back. I gushed about Asante Samuel Jr. in depth in that episode. If you want to get by option as safety to upgrade over Hamlin, maybe you don't want Bishop or rookie or Hamlin to start opposite rep, then safety Justin Simmons is a get by option. Safety Julian Blackman is still really young. I think he could be another underrated gem, just like the whole Michael Hoyt situation. Defense and Josh Uche, if you want to take a flyer, and this would be kind of redundant because you've added so many rotational pieces at this point. So I think you need a legit dude starter opposite Greg Rousseau, whether it is Trey Hendricks via trade, whether it is a significant 30th overall draft pick, or whether that is a significant high-end starter in the market, free agency market still. So there's that. If you want to get by option like Justin Simmons, safety John Johnson can fill that for you. And then lastly, if you want corner, Kello Witherspoon as another 1 year stopgap fill get by option, then or want to have a competition with some rookie, then Kello Witherspoon will fit that opposite Benford. So really, any of these guys, I'm not really like, oh my God, we have to have this guy. But Asante Samuel Jr. is far and away my number one. Like, I'm going to say it. 10 to 12 million a year feels about right. I think 2 years, 24 million feels about right. 12 per a young ascending corner, in my opinion. But this free agency class has kind of been picked over. It wasn't very good to begin with. Now it's kind of eh. So, Asante Samuel Jr., you better be a Buffalo Bill in the next 24 hours. Anyways, guys, so yeah, that was just my quick free agency kind of check-in. A player like Mac Hollins left. A bunch of players were signed. We signed some former veterans, a couple of veterans that were released by their own former teams, respectively, in the last week or so. So, yeah, this is awesome. Who league your starts? I'm sure Christian Benford will get an extension. Then James Cook, sorry, but you're not. So yeah, Amari Cooper, I don't expect to be back at this point. Yeah. So anyways, guys, you can follow me on Twitter at aWeingartner13. You can follow the show on Twitter at Around Slice. And please, I implore you, if you would like, so this is a Bills podcast, and I'm sure you guys love it. I love giving it to you on multiple times a week when we're on here, but if you want more national coverage, all 32 scope the league as a whole. If you want more national coverage, I have been hired as a fantasy analyst at Fantasy and Frames. So go to fantasyandframes.com to read my written content, a bunch of articles over there. I'd greatly appreciate it. And then if you want to see my video content over there I actually made my YouTube channel debut and the Fantasy Frames YouTube channel on the video side of things the other night on the and I'm going to be on there multiple more times in the next 2 or 3 weeks or so. I love it there so far. I made my debut with the crew and team, if you will, over there. So that's awesome. So once again, written content, fantasyframes.com from a national perspective. Also from a national perspective, if you want to see me on camera and get some video content for myself and the team, awesome coverage, you can go to the Fantasy and Frames YouTube channel. Anyways, guys, you can, of course, watch or listen to this podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I'm on the road to 50 subscribers through the Big 5-0 through this awesome, exciting process of the draft. Well, free agency first, then the draft. So I'll probably be on here at the end of the week, 2 or 3 days from now, give or take around there, for end of the week check-in / weekend check-in to give you guys some more updates. Hopefully we have some more. Hopefully we find a starting safety, but more specifically a starting corner. Asante Samuel Jr. Wink, wink. Okay. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for the support as always. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great rest of your exciting free agency signings, whatever team you're a fan of, specifically for the Bills. I will see you on the next one in a few days, hopefully. Goodbye.